All right, welcome back to the We Not I podcast. Today we've got a very special guest, my friend Ben Sugarman. Ben is a accomplished artist, friend of many, and you and I connected a couple years back on some of the similar stuff we went through. So it's an honor to have you on the podcast, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, feeling good, feeling great.
4th of July weekend. We both probably had some
Yeah,
nice. Hopefully, you had some
yeah.
time. with
I had a good night last night. That was definitely fun. Hung out with like a good crowd of people. It's really important to keep some good people in your circle, people that have your back.
That's right.
Yeah. So like I hung out with the crew that I developed out here in South Florida. I live in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and it's right above like Miami.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm just out here doing art and like focusing on my goals and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess a little backstory for some of the listeners. We went to high school together. We were always like cool with each other and stuff, similar friend groups, but never really like that tight. And then I think maybe like 3 or 4 years after high school, a couple of years ago, we got close. Ended up getting lunch together, and you shared some of this stuff that you went through with me, and we connected on a lot of different stuff. Helping each other out. And honestly, dude, you were a big inspiration in me finally getting sober. I was kind of in a state of ambivalence for a while, just kind of knowing that alcohol wasn't good for me at the time and just not fully giving it up. And then, so I respect you and appreciate your help along that
Yeah.
way for me.
I mean, like my opinion with all drugs and like alcohol kind of is like it's really not as much about like, you know, the drug. I mean, like you gotta like fix the faucet.
Hmm.
Not, the front where the water's coming out, not the leak. That's not where you gotta fix. You gotta fix your friends, you gotta fix who you're surrounded with, your mindset, you know, all
Yeah,
that stuff. Whatever pain you're feeling that you're trying to drink away or smoke away, like you got to fix that. It's like it's all about getting to the root cause of everything. You know?
yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean, you want to dive into a couple things that
Yeah.
help.
I mean, like so, in my life, definitely faced a lot of challenges. Have had to escape from the beast. From the belly of the beast, a bunch of times. All different circumstances. Whether it's like, father with cancer or, dealing with like crippling anxiety or like health. Um, like I've had a lot of health issues in my life. Like, I've learned so many different things that have really helped me. And like, I mean, a lot of people that have been through what I've been through, like, aren't standing anymore. Like it is really hard to like bounce back repeatedly and be resilient. So a lot of things that I had to adapt, I had to change, I had to change my own beliefs and all that stuff. But like I've learned a lot of things and gathered a lot of tools on the mountains that I've climbed. I like that metaphor, like that, like we climb mountains and we get the tools from those difficulties, right? So like honestly, if I had to write a book, like this is all the stuff that would be in it, you know and I honestly don't even know where to start because I just like wrote like down a whole bunch of stuff. Uh but I guess I want to start with the fact that you can be diagnosed or labeled, by society, and a lot of people really have a hard time grasping that. So, like, whatever your diagnosis, or maybe you don't even know, and you're like trying to figure it out, we just need to remember that these are just ways that we communicate with doctors and whatever, just so that we can get the message across. It doesn't mean that you're that thing, you know? Like whatever. If someone says you're an alcoholic, like that does not mean like don't become attached to that, and get it in your mind like alcoholic, because we need to think, clearly, and really filter everything correctly. So, like, I just think it's important just to get past that. That's the first step is okay, this is what everyone's telling me that's wrong with me. Okay, well, let's learn how to fix it, right?
Yeah. So just on that, man,
I'm Ben Sugarman.
right.
Who I am is I'm an artist that is very passionate. I'm very loving. I have a lot of friends. I'm also, a dog owner. I'm a brother. I'm so many more things than whatever someone told me, and you're so much more than, anything anyone has ever told you. So we need to kind of think about our identity a little bit. What's our actual identity? And then believe in yourself,
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's cool. And the label thing and the diagnosis, everything is on a spectrum with how severe it is, or everything I believe is so particular and individual for the person. So you might be a little bit this label, that label, diagnosis. It's tough to use those words and
yeah, and don't compare yourself to let's say, okay, so and so said this about me, and they also said the same thing about another person. You can't project them on you. They're fucked up, you can't project that on you either.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's one thing I learned this year from a friend, and I was comparing myself so much, but you can't, because we're all so unique, and yeah, I mean even in you shouldn't even think in competition with anyone either, you're your own person.
Yeah, we all have our own special gifts and journeys and timeline for everything.
Yeah. Like I guess I wanted to focus on negative thoughts,
Yeah.
and positive thoughts. Um, and also just addition and subtraction, 'cause it's really a game of addition and subtraction, because we're working on a balance beam here. The ultimate goal is to be in balance with whatever you're dealing with in your life. The goal isn't to create a utopia where everything's perfect. I have loads of cash. I've got a sick place. Everything in my life is perfect. Career is perfect. It's not about a utopia. You're just trying to create a balance. So how do we do that? So we have to subtract things that are weighing us down, and add things that are lifting us up. And you have to figure out what it is for you. So a huge thing I had to subtract early on was all these negative people, low frequency people that were within my circle, that were attached to me. It was very hard to break out of. That was kind of in the college stage, where I'm surrounded by all these people that have no ambition except for drink and party.
Yeah, that's tough to separate yourself from. And how'd you do it, or how would you recommend somebody who's young in that stage of their life try to do that?
I think that we learned how to do that this year, right? With isolation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just comes down to isolation, and then letting time go on, and working on yourself at the same time.
It's really true about like COVID and the people that you talk to and the people that you reached out with. And like it was so risky to go see anybody. So you might as well be risky and see people you actually care about. Right.
You also will have to confront people too. Like that's like there's no way you can just sneak out of your, life, that you've created. Like you have to like have some conversations with some people. And you have to be like strong enough to do that. Like I'm sorry, like, you're trying to do this. You're, like out of like complete respect, like I don't want to, live this way anymore. And like I'm just like doing my own thing. I need to focus on myself, like,
Yeah. Like you and I walked my dog together, like a fun, sober activity. And I guess when I was going through that same phase, it's like, hit me up if you want to play tennis or, go racquetball or walk in the park. But I'm not gonna meet you for a blunt or on a Friday night on Caroline Street anymore. It's not
I mean, at this point in my life though, too, and this is same thing with my friends as it is with the people I work with. I'm talking about like other artists or people that like I collaborate with or do any business with, is that like if we don't have chemistry, I'm not like wasting my time. And I know that kind of like sounds like a little bit like,
no, it's important.
farm, right? But like you gotta give the Heisman. You gotta.
Yeah, I heard that a while ago. Like it's kind of a thing, I guess, in business too. If you don't get good energy or feel like don't do it, work together with somebody. And I think I've been noticing that more and more. It's like there's so many good people on the earth that have good intentions. Why waste your time just because someone may, I don't know.
And it's a good thing. It really is. It's a good thing to subtract and to get rid of. It's like, like a glass of dirty water, that's life. You want to clear it up. And this is just one part. Your influences are huge, but like this doesn't discount from people that actually need you as like someone like a shoulder to lean on. I'm not saying like, get rid of everyone that's like negative. Some people are actually just growing through stuff. And like you need to be there for them. And this is your opportunity to it's going to lift yourself up by lifting them up. Now, like, but like, if you can tell early on that this person's not going to get it whatsoever, like, it's like, but if you think you have the opportunity to actually help someone, I'm not saying avoid everyone, because you don't want to live your life and at the end of your life say you never helped anybody either.
Of course. Yeah. And it's like, people sometimes either give you energy or suck your energy out. And in that case, if you're lifting somebody else up, my grandma always said, if you're feeling down, just go help someone else. Makes you feel better.
And there's a time and place for everything, but I'm never shy to like kind of like ask someone like, like if they want to open up to me, because I'm like, I'll be there for them. Like I'm not like shy of that, which is good. And like I want to give people the option like to talk to me if I feel like I can help,
Yeah. That's let's chat about it right there.
Yeah, exactly. But like so like addition is huge, like because addition multiplies. So like when you add things into your life, okay, like what happens when you meet one good friend? You end up meeting their friends, right? That multiplies. What happens when you think a good thought? Then multiple good thoughts come off of that. Or, like, so like, if you're a slave to your own thinking and you're like afraid of your own ego and all that, like you really need to like add in some positive thinking there, some affirmations and all that stuff. But that's just like an example of like an addition, or like maybe you need to add more photos around your place of family that remind you of good things, or
Yeah,
break.
podcast, listen to good, better music.
Yeah.
There's lots of things. Have you heard of? There's this guy, Charlie, on Instagram. Or well, he's all over, but
No.
so his whole thing is like, I'm on a winning streak, so he'll just buy someone a cup of coffee, or the smallest things, and he'll just,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm on a winning streak, like, and it just like kind of builds on itself, kind of thing. So same mentality, you hold the door open for someone, and then all of a sudden more good things come into your life.
I actually buy my friends dinner, and then I'll say, now you have to buy the next person you go out with dinner.
Wow, that's
equal amount of money or whatever,
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then you have to tell them to buy someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So like it starts a chain reaction.
Yeah, putting good positivity out there.
But like so like I did want to talk about something that like I think that a lot of people have gone through, like in the last year, especially during COVID, which is depression. And I want to like kind of like give my insights on how you fix depression.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So like a lot of us got very, I don't know how to say it, like, isolated. We were all isolated. We had little communication. The world stopped. You might not. For me, I wasn't in the right even place, which really fucked with me. Like I wasn't like in the right living environment. But so like I'm gonna go over like 8 different things that I think will help someone get out of a depression. Okay. So social life, huge. Like you have to have a social life. You have to have friends that you can hang out with, do whatever with, but like a social life, walking your dog with someone, or painting with someone, or golfing, or whatever, like social life. And I mean, like at least once a week, you got to hang out with someone and get out of your place.
How would you recommend, say just someone's living in a new town by themselves and doesn't really know anyone? What's a good first step for someone to make that connection?
Well, I mean, if you're in a city, there's a lot of stuff to do, which you can find online.
Yeah.
On Instagram, you can find stuff to do. On like what's that event page or whatever?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But you do stuff like that, and you can go meet up with people. I mean, when I first moved to Florida, I hung out at the cigar shop, and I made friends that way. And then I joined a mastermind group where we'd all talk about our goals, and we meet every other week.
Pretty cool.
And then like now I'm going to like this like sound healing like Buddhism thing right now every Tuesday.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where you like meditate for like an hour, and then you talk with people, and you have like food and drinks and stuff afterwards. Like having a dog really helps too. Like
Yeah, that was
friends having a dog.
Totally, man. That was one of the things I was going to ask you too, because I recently got a puppy, and it's like a night and day situation. I lived in this apartment for a year before I got him, and then I've met so many people. Everybody just wants to come up and talk.
Also, dogs really help you.
Absolutely.
With just feeling good. Like they're so amazing. Like dogs are so forgiving. Like they love you unconditionally. It's pretty incredible. You always have someone there for you. It's like best friend. But exercise, so you need to have a good exercise schedule. Honestly, the
Totally.
more the better. Uh, and I mean, like walking at least, or running, or going to the gym. Like you have to exercise. And one thing I love about Florida is the vitamin D. You get
Yeah.
so much sun. It just brightens your soul. It's amazing.
What's your favorite exercise?
Well, I walk every single day with my dog, and
Yeah.
that's actually like all I can do because
Mhm.
I'm not really able to do physical stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, so I also think that you need to set goals, and when you actually accomplish the goals, like you need to like have a little mini celebration, just like appreciating yourself and stuff like that. And if you really need to, if it's that bad, like if you're like that depressed, like I would like, even like say brushing your teeth is an accomplishment. And I would like write it down, like
Yeah.
write down all your accomplishments throughout the day. Like if it was really that bad, like maybe like cleaning your apartment is like all you did a day. Like can't be hard on yourself
Right.
when you're sad, you know? Can't be hard on yourself. Uh, everything's a win. Everything win. For me now, though, it's like, like I got to paint murals. I got to get like, bigger murals. I got to do more paintings. I'm like doing an auction coming up that's like at this huge hotel right on the beach in Fort Lauderdale with like, hundreds of people. And then like, making sales and doing art shows. I have like a big art show that like I'm curating with like my art partner.
It's awesome.
And we rented out a gallery, so like it's like these accomplishments are really important. And then they make me happy. It's like I'm out there, I'm doing stuff. I'm, feeling good about what I'm doing. So that goes into the next thing is purpose. It's like you have to have purpose in what you're doing. So like you have to understand that no matter what you're doing, like you are making some contribution to other people's lives. You affect other people's lives, and like that's the most valuable currency possible. So how can you uplift others? How can you help others? You know, and focus on the problems that you're solving for people, and feel grateful that you've like solved something for somebody.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to feel like you're contributing, and that there's purpose in what you're doing. You know, and if you don't think there's purpose in what you're doing, like literally there's purpose in everything pretty much. So if you don't think there's purpose in what you're doing, then you have a massive ego problem, and you're letting that get in the way.
Hmm.
Um, but like the next one is ecosystem. Okay, so like, what's your ecosystem? Like, like for you, what is your ecosystem? Like for me, it's like palm trees, beach, on the water, art all around me, galleries all around me. Like this is my ecosystem.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know, you
yeah.
like the mountains, biking and trails.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. The state park, the Saratoga Lake, just being in nature with my dog, good people. Ecosystem, my mind went to initially is the people around you.
Yeah,
Which would be
yeah, people are huge.
so yeah, coworkers at work, positive people, and friends, family, hockey. I've got a great group on Tuesday nights that I skate with, and I feel like that's a big sense of my community right now.
And do you feel you have like the resources for you to be happy, like with where you're living in your environment, in terms of people and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of but I mean we're constantly trying to improve, Gab and I, in the apartment, making it feel better. We're thinking
Yeah.
about what our next place is gonna include and stuff like that to just make us feel the best versions of ourselves. So I feel like that's a constant thing.
Yeah. It's dope.
Yeah.
So, um, these are like the two like biggest things I think in life, for like feeling good, living a good life, and it really comes down to two things. And everyone's gonna think, oh, this is so cliche, but love and gratitude.
Mhm.
Okay, now like you can say, oh, I love the um, you know or whatever. I'm trying to think. So like I love art, right?
Yeah.
But I also love my apartment. And you know what? Like I love that I have electricity right now. And I love that I got Michael Jordan's autograph. And oh, my guitar's right here. I love playing that guitar. I've got so many good books. I love my books. Um, you know, I love America. Like literally all the time I'm thinking about what I love. So I'm going for a walk and I'm like, wow, I love this view. I love the way the sun glistens on the water. I love that I can just get on a boat anytime I want and just ride a boat. Because there's like a taxi that's a boat right in front of my apartment.
Wow.
Cool. Like I love the blue skies, or, like the colors that are, in this shirt. Like um, you know, so like if you I would, if you're really at rock bottom, I would write a list of like 100 things that you love, or like start your day with like 20 things that you love every day, and then 20 things you feel grateful for, and like you know, we're I'm just communicating right now, but like I'm also feeling something, which is the feeling of love, and feeling gratitude. They're two different feelings. And I really try and anchor myself in love and gratitude every day. And I know that um, everything that's like going wrong or whatever per se um, is because the balance is off. I'm not loving and being in gratitude enough. So like those two things are so huge, it's ridiculous. Like when John Lennon said, "All you need is love," literally all like what he meant was that all you need is love.
Yeah.
You would be completely fine if you felt love all the time, I mean, but don't we love the dynamic range of the human conscious?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
yeah. I was just breaking it down. I mean, you just kind of looked around your room right now and named all these things that you love, which is amazing.
yeah,
And sometimes if we're in a darker place or going through that depression, we don't really uh, see those things the same way. I guess I would say.
well, so I went through depression, um which was like in and out. It was like moderate depression, where like I'd be like fine one day and then all of a sudden like a switch would just go off and I would just be depressed. And it was like this year, and it was because like I told you about this, but like I was diagnosed with a chronic illness about like a year and a half ago, and I couldn't even walk. I was like bedridden for like 6 months of 2020. So like I was literally in so much pain, And my pain comes from like my hips from like sitting down, and in my legs, um, all like my lower back too, and um, it was the most horrible thing I've ever gone through. I mean, like, it's no joke when like you literally like uh, are just sitting in a bathtub for 3 months straight, watching movies in the bathtub,
Jeez.
you know. So like that was horrible, and I had to go back home. And I love going home, but like when I lose my art studio and you know like eh, I mean I like golfing and stuff, but I couldn't even golf. Like I had to like just stay home, and no one really understood what I was going through. Um, it was so hard to like get it through my head that like I don't need people's sympathy. Um, that was a big thing, but yeah, so like I had to do these things to get out of it, and I had to work on myself. And I did physical therapy for 6 months too, which really got me back. And I still deal with pain on a daily basis. Thank God that today was a really good day, and so was the last few days. Even like a couple weeks ago, I was like really struggling, and I go and I can walk up to 2 miles now, um, like feeling fine. 3 miles maybe, so like I'm doing good. I can't run. I can't do anything except for walk. Um, and working has been really difficult too. I have to like stand and sit, and it's very painful to work. Um, but I figured it out. I had to adapt. I had to adapt in so many different ways. So many different ways. Um, you know, but yeah. So I guess that's a little background on that. Do you have any questions about that, or I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it.
yeah,
The so I mean, it sounds like that experience taught you a lot about gratitude, right?
yeah.
Now
Uh,
you're
Gratitude that I'm like alive, and even though I'm in pain, I'm like alive, and like I don't need to like um I'm not my body.
hmm
That was something that I had to learn. I meditated for like 3 months straight, like searching for answers, right? Like I didn't even know what to do. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna meditate every single day for 40 minutes. I did that for 3 months straight. I learned how to like separate myself from my body, which was really a amazing experience. Um, you know, you're you're not limited in your mind, you know, and that's something that's amazing. I was able to do a lot of amazing art while I was really having a tough time. I'm so much better now, but when I was really having a tough time, like luckily I got so much done with art, and I did not stop progressing forward. Like, yo, what the come on. Like I kept pushing forward every single day. And I remember like I even like designed like one skateboard a day. Like little accomplishments like that.
yeah.
Um and I drew every day, and I worked on myself. But I I had to watch I watched like every Holocaust movie. I studied the Holocaust for months, learning about what people went through, and really focused on suffering.
Hmm.
Uh, and her and looked up every single story of any other person who had, beaten cancer or, gone through some, terrible struggle. Like one of my favorite people ever is Michael J. Fox. He's like my hero. He has Parkinson's, and he taught me that you don't have to think of a grim future. Like you don't have to project a grim future. You can enjoy the moment and you can live in the now. But I read a whole bunch of books and everything too. I learned a lot about the mind and about intrusive thoughts because the mind it goes haywire, right? The mind is a machine. That's what you need to understand. A lot of people think that all their thoughts are authentically their own thoughts, and they can't tell the difference of. And sometimes it can be really tricky because the mind is a trickster. But you have to realize that this mind is a machine, and it just makes associations with everything that you do choose to think, and it's fed by fear and aggravation. Okay, so if this is a machine, how do you turn it off? Well, you have to calm it down. It's like it's like a beast. That's why I named the monster the beast. Okay, because you have to calm it down. You have to get it to relax, and you have to relax, and you have to say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. My heart is racing. I'm feeling fear about the future, sadness about the past. Those are all just emotions that are running through my body. You have to figure out a way how to channel it and let it go. And once you can learn to let go, life becomes like you're just riding on a wave. It's just like you just have to learn how to let things go. And it's so fucking hard because you're holding on so tight because, you think this ship is going to sink or it's going to crash. Like you're holding on so fucking tight because you're so afraid, okay, that everything's not going to be okay. But it is. And learning how to let go, I didn't learn how to let go until I went to Jerusalem. I went to Jerusalem this year.
Yeah.
For 3 months. Well, I went to Tel Aviv, but I was staying in Jerusalem for a week by myself. And I literally I went and I prayed. Jewish people, we have this wall that we pray at. It's the holiest place in the world for Jews. And I stood there for an entire week, every single day. I woke up in the morning and just, held the wall, just touched the wall, prayed, sat there for hours and hours and hours, waiting to hear something. And it all just clicked for me. It just all clicked for me. That love, gratitude, and faith is literally all I need to have. And as long as I'm in that same frequency, as long as I can stay in that same frequency that I was in Israel, it's like learning how to ride a bike. It's like I went there to go ride the bike. And I'm riding the bike and I'm oh, this is easy. I can feel love. Oh yeah, I love all this shit. I'm so grateful for all this. Woo, everything was amazing, right? Well, beautiful views. I'm meeting all these people telling me all this wisdom, reading all these great books, and life's so good, right? So it's once you literally get a chance to ride the bike, you just go back to your own life and then you just ride, you know, and you fall off every now and then, you know, but it really, like, for me, like, and so many people think this is crazy, but, like, you know, like, I'm just always in a constant state of love and gratitude and faith, you know? That's how you have to be.
Yeah,
I know that my pain's gonna go away. It comes and goes, it comes and goes, it comes and goes. It's better on some days, it's better and worse on some days. But I know it's gonna go. You know, whenever I'm going through something, I know it's just something I'm going through. I accept everything that happens to me, you know? I always look at the positive, you know?
yeah. You're just riding the wave, right?
Yeah.
Taking it wave by wave.
Yeah, bro.
It's an awesome metaphor, and yeah, really beautifully said, man. I'm glad that Tel Aviv had such an impact on you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. There is something that, like, I want to read to you from this book. And, like, it is written by a rabbi. It's like, it's, this is some good stuff right here. But, like, I don't think you have to be, like, Jewish to believe this. But it's really just about, like, everyone needs to have, like, spirituality of some sort.
Amen.
Now, there is a higher power, and there's different religions. Each one tries to connect to that higher power in a different way.
Mhm.
And there's no good or bad way or wrong belief system out there. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you're fine, you know? But, like, you just need to kind of get in tune with that higher power, and figure out what your purpose is, because and figure out who you are and your skill sets so that you can accomplish what, like, you were destined to, you know. But, like, so it says, Rabbi Nachman, of blessing memory writes, all troubles, sufferings, and exiles, and all the lacking that a person feels, whether it's financial income, children, or physical health, etc., all this comes to a person according to their lack of spiritual awareness. And when a person perfects his spiritual awareness, then all of his shortcomings will be compensated for, as Rabbi Nachman says. If you have acquired knowledge, then what are you lacking? If you lack knowledge, then what have you acquired? Rabbi Nachman did not write that only certain troubles come from a lack of spiritual awareness. He explains that clearly all troubles and all suffering comes from a lack of spiritual awareness, literally. All exiles, as well as tribulations of exile, are proportionate to a person's lack of spiritual awareness. Therefore, when we hone our spiritual awareness, we compensate for whatever we lack in life. Yeah.
Love that, man. It's like, yeah, believing in something and something bigger than yourself is always going to serve you.
Yeah. You have to make peace with yourself, you know, and, like, recognize, like, you know, maybe you're going through something too, and, like, you just feel alone. But, like, literally, if you Google it on the internet, it'll say that, like, there's, like, hundreds of thousands of people going through the same shit. You're not alone.
Yeah, you never really think that, but
You feel like you are,
right.
you know, but, like, I know there's hundreds of thousands of people that have the same illness as me.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, like, the fight goes on. Like, don't ever feel like you're alone. That's, like, something that is, like, really that I went through a period of time where I felt like I was alone. for sure. That was really difficult. Yeah.
How'd you come to the sense that you realized it's a we, not I scenario, that you got people that care about you?
I mean, I did a lot of things, man. I mean, like, you know, like I started actually like studying a lot of different illnesses out there. Um, like I even like learned a little bit about Parkinson's. Like this is Michael J. Fox's book,
Wow.
Always Looking Up. You know, um, but like there's all different illnesses out there and stuff, and like people on the internet. Like I actually just made like an art piece as a gift for like a person that like they're in constant pain every day. It's this beautiful girl that's in New York City, and like I found her on Instagram or whatever, and I just sent her a gift.
Wow.
So like, you know, a lot of people are sour though, so you got to watch out. Um, but like, there's a lot of good people to look up to. We all have our own challenges. We all have our own challenges, you know.
Everybody's going through something. Just can't understand.
It is so true, man. And people have cancer. People die all the time. People, you know, have money problems. Whatever, you know. I mean, there's just like a million things. So yeah, it takes a certain level of maturity to not feel like the victim uh, of whatever is happening to you, and to stand up and say, "This is what's happening to me, but I'm going to keep moving forward, no matter what." And after what's happened to me, I feel like I can take anything. So um, that's good. And I have had the chance to help some people just by like telling them a little bit about my life.
It's awesome, man.
But few and far between, because I look fine. I look completely fine.
Yeah.
So I have like an invisible illness. But
I mean, that's huge though, dude. What you just said is you went through something really challenging. You learned about it, realized it's not going to stop you from moving forward, and now you're in a position where you're helping people and giving back and talking about it. It's amazing.
I don't think I'm like the type of person that's like, you know, gonna like jump on every podcast and like, you know, talk about life or whatnot.
One at a time, you know.
Like, I'm like the one at a time type of person where like you end up like meeting me and you're like, I got lucky, you know, like I don't like shout it from the rooftops, you know, how to get better, but like I don't think that's my place in life. Like I learned a lot about myself and what, you know, God wants for me, and it's just to create positivity and art, like through my art.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome that at 28 years old you realize that.
yeah, and then also like just to kind of just be like the leader, like and just not stop, and you know, challenge everyone around me, like that's in my ecosystem, and like, you know, keep working hard. And we all watch each other. All the artists out here, we all watch each other.
Yeah.
We all know what everyone's latest shit is, you know? And like, even if like you have no idea who the person like actually is, you never met them, like, you know, everyone has their eyes on everyone. It's like pretty awesome.
That's
So,
cool. You're all pushing each other in a competitive,
yeah, on
friendly.
Instagram and stuff like that, you know? So yeah. But I wanted to talk about like here. Yeah, just like figuring out what you're good at, you know. You got to
Yeah.
figure out who you
How'd you?
are, and
Yeah,
sometimes I think that these things that happen to us lead us back into the right direction of who we actually are.
me too.
You
I
know,
believe that strongly.
because like I did a whole career change now. Like I'm like becoming a graphic designer, which is sick. You know, I like always,
It's awesome, right?
yeah, I'm really happy about it. And like I was like doing like sales and all these other stupid jobs. I mean,
Yeah, I remember.
they weren't like stupid jobs, but they just like were not for me. Like I'm just like too nice of a guy.
You were doing like a business development role where you were kind of copy pasting
I
emails.
was doing that. I was, you know, like I'm not like a person that like you know sends emails all the time. Like I'm a face to face person.
You're a creative dude, man.
Yeah, and I'm not like the type of person to be selling offices. That's what I was doing before. I was selling offices. I'm like,
Yeah.
it was cool, you know, like beautiful view every day, and like you know the offices were nice and made a lot of connections and whatnot. But like, you know, it wasn't creative whatsoever. So now I'm learning how to. I'm teaching myself how to become a graphic designer. But yeah. I'm trying to think. So
Sorry to interrupt, but if anybody's watching this on YouTube, this backdrop you did in on the computer, right?
well, actually, I did that on my iPad. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it is pretty dope.
Yeah, I know.
I did it on the plane home from Israel, actually.
Really? Yeah, it looks awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think like the last thing I wanted to say, um, well, a couple things. I have another good analogy, another good like analogy for you. So life is like a movie, right?
Yeah, of
Like a
course.
movie. So you control the reel, like how fast it goes.
Hmm.
Now, this is something I learned with meditation, okay? Because we can just go back and forth from one place to another, do this, do that, go on a vacation, jump off a boat here, go skydiving here, blah, 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 like do like cool things, bike ride, whatever. And we can just go through all the way through life, just doing stuff.
Hmm.
But if you don't learn how to slow it down,
Good.
if you don't learn how to like slow it down, so like you know, this is her by the way,
Nice. What's her name?
Leia.
Leia.
Yeah, like Star Wars. Yeah, yeah, she's a good girl. But so it's like meditation allows you to slow down the moment and
Hmm.
to be in the moment, um, and to be still and tranquil. So when you're accepting an award or um, you know going on some sick trip and just reach to the top of a mountain on a hike or you know are riding the bike or maybe you're hanging with your grandparents, like you need to slow it down and just say I am so grateful for this moment, that I'm in this moment, and that I'm with these people, or that I'm seeing this, or ooh, the green on those trees looks beautiful, or you know, like pick out things and you know, really slow it down and enjoy the moment. And that's what tranquility is, you know? And like, you know, like when you're looking at that sunrise, it's like, you know, try and take a mental photograph and you know stop thinking about the next thing. It's like you know a lot of people here it's like oh you know like okay we're gonna go to this bar and then we're gonna go to this dinner place and have dinner where we're on the water blah 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 and then we're gonna you know like, drive to Miami and go to Wynwood, blah blah. But like just stop and just like, and it don't even matter if people think I'm like spaced out all the time sometimes, like I'm just fucking enjoying the moment, and like letting this shit sink into my mind, and like going into like a little meditation, and like um get really in tune with your surroundings and your smells, and like, you know I think what's really helped me is that like I'm a photographer, so like I'm like always looking around for beautiful things like to take photographs of, and like trying to get shots, don't like
You see everything a little differently. The composition of how the trees fall onto the
yeah 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 it is pretty damn beautiful, but like you just gotta slow down life a little bit, and like meditation will teach you to still your mind, you know. But yeah, um,
I totally feel that, man. I went on that walk I was telling you about this morning. I had the day off today and no plans, so I literally walked from like 9:30 to 2 o'clock, just wandering around in Congress Park and up and down Broadway, just kind of going at my own pace and wherever Grizzly wanted to go on the trail. And everybody else around was doing their own thing and somewhere in more of a hurry than others. But I was kind of just me and my dog wandering. It's pretty nice.
absolutely, man. That's like what life is all about, dude. Just enjoying the moment, and like don't wait for the pain to be over. Like whatever you're going through, like whatever your mind is, concocting in your head, like don't wait to be happy. Like you don't need to wait like forever. You know, you can be happy right now.
Yeah,
But
because
it's gonna take all those different things, like that, like we talked about earlier. You have to like,
yeah,
it takes a while to create a balance. But
loving good. I think that's anything people take away from this podcast. Just slow down, realize what you love, realize what you're grateful for, kind of ride that whole wave. It's a big message.
yeah,
I think it's
but
gonna help a lot of people.
also, like, can you hear me?
Yeah, is there a little delay?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit fuzzy on your side.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, like I was gonna say, like, you need to figure out what your passion is, like, because that's gonna fuel your fire. Passion is fire, man. Like, if you have passion for what you're doing, like, you'll do such a better job. You'll enjoy it so much more. It'll make you feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Fulfillment is like a big problem, especially with people that are really determined, like me, man. Like I had like a problem where like I didn't ever feel fulfilled, and I still do deal with this, bro. I'll create like a sick piece of artwork, and it won't be fulfilling to me. And like it's because I'm so determined to create perfection. I'm a perfectionist. You know, everything I do, I want to be perfect. Like, and that's something that I have to work on. That's what I'm trying to work on right now, actually.
Just kind of knowing when
Yeah.
I mean, it's art, so it's all interpreted by whoever's viewing it, or you artist, just knowing when it's when you think you're done, kind of thing, or you're just like meticulous with it.
It comes down to like comparing myself to others, like I'm at this stage where I'm like shoulder to shoulder with a lot of people that are really great, you know. But like not not there yet to the point where I'm like one of the one day I hope to be one of the, better artists out there. But
Yeah.
I'm working on it, man.
Yeah, I think you will be. And go back
I'm
to
hard on myself.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Go back to your previous advice, which was you can't be too hard on yourself, and then just be grateful for how far you've come right now.
Yeah. What do you think? Looking at me from like, you've known me for a long time.
Yeah,
Like, do you think like I came out here in Florida and killed it?
I mean,
What's it look like from Saratoga Springs?
it's a good question. Well, me personally, as a friend, I'm pumped for you that you kind of found yourself in this passion place with new graphic design, and you're not kind of doing stuff that didn't fulfill you. Um, I mean, honestly, I'm impressed with the way you've evolved.
To like stick.
Yeah,
Like so many people quit, bro. Like 95% of people quit at being an artist.
yeah. I mean, how long have you been going on graffiti and everything?
10 years.
Yeah, it's sick.
12, yeah.
And yeah, now you've even got a website with some merch designs and
Yeah,
pretty sweet gear up there.
I know it is dope.
But yeah, man, I'm proud of you. It's nice to see someone kind of go through with their passion in art and be where you're at, where you're rubbing shoulders with Wynwood, artists, and it seems like there's a really cool scene down there.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. But like, so, what really like resonated with you, or like, is there anything that you would agree with like 100% that maybe like you liked that like I talked about today, or
Yeah, I mean, so you ran through kind of
do
what?
you practice a lot of those things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, I related to almost all of them.
wow,
I mean, community, exercise, faith, all of the Mindset's a huge one. Just positive thoughts, man. It helps so much. I used to just think negatively all the time, and
well,
you have a choice,
yeah, and like faith is it's like a muscle, but you have to first start by saying, you know, I'm going to kill it and be a graphic designer. Like I'm gonna get hired. Like I'm gonna create my portfolio by the end of the year, and I'll probably be even talking to people before then. Like you have to like say these things. That's what faith is. It's like, speaking into existence.
Yeah, positive affirmations.
I'm a huge believer of like speaking into like existence,
Yeah, a
like,
law of attraction and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Like I tell everyone I'm a designer already, pretty much. I mean, like, because I am,
Yeah.
But like I need to like work for another company doing it. But that's in the future, I'm like building my portfolio. I'm doing some stuff for some people. But like, I remember when I was just in college, and I was like, yeah, I'm moving to Florida. Like everyone was like, what are you doing after college? Like the famous question, right? What are you doing after college?
Of course.
Like I'm moving to Florida, and everyone was like, oh no, Florida's whack, blah blah blah. And I was persistent with it. I spoke it into existence, and it happened. You know, and I lined myself up with a great job.
Yeah. It's amazing, man.
Yeah, but like, I think speaking things into existence is really important. But like, having faith that like everything's gonna be okay. It's like, my friend checked me yesterday because he was like, "Yo, Ben, like we're gonna butt heads if you're not like on the same page with me right now." Because I was like, "Dude, what if we don't get a lot of people to this art show? Like, I don't know, man. Like, because I rented out the place already, and
Mhm.
like, he's like, dude, man, we're gonna get people out there. Like, you can't be talking like this." I'm like, "You-"
Yeah.
so
Sounds
yeah,
like sounds like a good friend.
yeah, he is a good friend.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
But like, it's easy to think negative. Um, you know, it's harder to think positive, but at first, but then it gets easier. And I think like reading a lot of books really helps, like because it programs your mind.
Mhm.
Positive books. Have you read any good ones lately? Or
I don't. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I listened to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey on.
did you?
Yeah, it was
Was
fantastic.
it good?
It was fantastic, dude. Yeah, it's all about
Is he a
kind of.
writer?
Yeah, yeah, and he narrated it too, which was awesome. But
No way, he did.
dude, it's awesome. Definitely recommend it.
Dude, I gotta listen to that.
It's all about sort of what we're talking about now, mindset, looking at things in your life that may appear as a red light situation where you're stuck, or like I dropped out of college and I'm not a red light, but then all of a sudden it turns green, or you're hitting green lights like you're on a winning streak, or oh, maybe it's just a yellow light right now, maybe I need to slow down. So
Yeah,
it's yeah, I mean, it's kind of like his autobiography, but it's all about kind of looking at things in a positive way, and that when something happens, it may look a certain way, and you never really know what life has in store for you.
yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's sweet.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the last thing I have for you, just because I mentioned earlier how much of an influence you had on me and getting sober, and what what extent do you think all of where you're at now could have been if, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, how much do you think smoking weed or doing alcohol has an effect on you? Like, do you think you'd be in the place you're at now
Hmm.
if you continued doing all the stuff you and I were up
Yeah,
to?
if I continued to smoke weed, I mean, like, and yeah, and like drinking and like, yeah, um, I probably would be like doing some other fucked up shit. I mean, yeah, I probably would have just continued to like, go down the wrong path, but like I was never meant to go down a bad path. Like I don't think that like God would have allowed that, honestly. Um, but like, yeah, I was a little punk, and I was, you know, just just having fun. I mean, it wasn't that harmful to me. Like I don't think like doing like stuff. I mean, just because like so many people were also doing it. It wasn't just like it was me. It was like everybody was doing it. And we came from like a high school where like everyone drank and smoked pot and took other people's prescriptions, and like that's just like the kind of shit we grew up in. And look at us, like everyone's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if I like, let's say like I grew up in the hood, and I had terrible influences in my life, I probably would have been led down the wrong path. Like,
Mm.
I don't think that like it's really possible for like any of us like growing up in like Saratoga Springs, like how privileged we were,
Yeah.
how good of parents we kind of had. Like we kind of had like a really safe space in our homes and everything. So I don't think that like drugs could have taken me anywhere. because of the ecosystem.
Mhm.
You know, like I luckily had like a good home base and everything. My parents are super spiritual, and like I never really saw it as like I need to do drugs to like get away from my life. Like it was more like it was just like the type of playground that I was in. And like I was just playing with what was ever in the playground, you know? Um, but like, you know, yeah, and I went to college, all that stuff, you know, like if I didn't have that opportunity to learn and to go to college and to see all these other people that were, you know, like working on themselves and graduating, like, you know, that was super motivating. Um, but like, you know, I I have too much like kind of confidence and self-worth to have continued on that path. I was just instilled with that growing up, you know? Like my mom was just like, you know, always telling me how amazing I was all the time, like
Yeah.
all the time. My mom like loved all my art and helped me, you know, have my first shows and stuff like that, you know, like and you know, paid for me to go play lacrosse at you know, like on club teams and stuff and like, you know, always had my back and was always there. I always had a really close relationship with her. So like I think like yeah, if I didn't have my mom and if I was in a different place, I'd probably be a different person. But yeah, I wasn't raised to like, you know, just become a druggie, you know.
Yeah. You got strong roots.
Yeah, exactly. And even like going all the way back to like my grandfathers and everything and all that too. They're really great people. Yeah, good brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, family's huge, man. It influences you so much.
Yeah, it really does. My family was huge during my recovery and support.
Yeah,
Grateful.
yeah. Like anytime anyone is like going through something, like you can't like have expectations that everyone's gonna help you and stuff, but like, you know, some people will show up, you know, and help, which is good.
Yeah.
I guess like what I tried to do, you know, for you or whatever, you know, like but
Yeah.
going through my own stuff at the time, but yeah,
100%.
I think like you know, one thing that we have in common is that like we both have like an obsession with like, you know, um kind of learning how to overcome, you know? Like
Yeah.
you're definitely really obsessed with that, like the whole idea of like overcoming and things, you know?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So
I mean, resilience, right? Resilience, overcoming, perseverance. It's what got me through college after 7.5 years and got me through years of depression, anxiety, and prescription drugs and everything that I went through. And yeah, that's kind of why I started this is to get this message out. For
yeah. And
to
dude, like I said it in the book, bro, no one has to suffer, man. Like
yeah,
no one has to suffer. Um, you know, I wish it was like all like just like, you know, one thing, you know, but like it is all the stuff we talked about. Like you needed to do all that kind of
yeah,
dig yourself out of the hole you're in. Everyone has challenges. They're like really unique, you know? This is what life dealt me. I have no idea what's gonna happen in the future, but like I imagine it's gonna be really, really good. Um, you know?
yeah. And whatever obstacles or speed bumps you hit, you have this base because of what you've been through and that all right, I've already dealt with this whole load of shit, and now I'm stronger because of it.
Yeah. I'm also like very acceptant that like everything that has happened to me, like, has happened, like, you have to be acceptant, like, because you really do have to come to peace with your life and the card you were dealt.
Took me a long time to figure that one out.
Yeah. It's like,
Not,
it's okay to be in this room, in this situation,
yeah.
you know? Like,
And once you own it, you're like, it's like this weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Like, hey guys, yeah, I did smoke synthetic marijuana and it fucked me up for a while, and I went through a lot of shit. But because I'm able to own that online, and that's just me. Now it's like a whole different.
yeah.
Instead of hiding and be like, oh, that's my secret. Like,
Yeah. I mean, like, did I ever tell you that, like, I was also diagnosed with drug-induced psychosis?
yeah. I mean, I think that's how we initially started.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, but again, like, you're not anything anyone really tells you, dude. You are who you are, and whatever it is, like, you just have to figure out how you can balance it on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality creates that balance. Fear does not. Fear does not create that balance. All the things you shouldn't do. Yeah, like getting frustrated about small things. That's a clear sign that you or there's some other issues going on. Getting frustrated about someone, driving in front of you and cutting you off, or like, yeah. I do believe in therapy though, 100%. I don't know if you've been to therapy, but it is like I mean, because we consume so much on a daily basis. We even consume our own thoughts that go through our mind. We consume what's on the TV. We consume what's on our phones. Uh, like maybe you don't have a good neighbor, or maybe like you know you get a bunch of spam mail in your email and you're just pissed off all the time. Like, you need to like channel it somehow. So that's what I do with my art. That's what I do with like, I have like friends that are like, almost like therapists that like I can just call anytime. um like, yeah, and by the way, if you ever needed to call me, like, feel free, honestly.
Same, bro. Yeah.
Or if you ever want to come and do like a retreat or whatever down here and just like visit,
That'd be fun.
yeah, dude, you're more than welcome. But like, you just need to find a way to express yourself. Imagine that's really hard for people that aren't artists, though. How does someone that's not an artist express themselves? Like,
I mean, I think
yeah,
I think if you just shift the lens and say everything can be an art form, like me communicating through this podcast is the way I express
yeah,
myself.
this is an expression for sure.
Uh,
Yeah. I guess like you can. I do like to say like take it out on your hustle. You
take
know,
on your hustle.
like whatever the fuck it is that you go hard at. You
Yeah.
know, like that can be a release. So if it's like you're going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're like, I don't know, like a marketer, and you need to write a whole bunch of ads or something, and you need to like get 10 done, but you don't think you can do it. Like, push yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or like, push yourself to make those extra phone calls if you're a salesman, or like, you know, yeah.
Take it out on the hustle. I like that.
Yeah, it's like just release while you're doing that, It's like for me, like, I don't know how it is for you, but like when I'm like doing my art or whatnot, it's like, okay, all these things are going on in my life, whatever, that I don't like or whatever. Now, I'm just gonna do my art, and it's okay because I'm here doing my art and I'm painting and I'm looking at the brushstrokes and I'm just like, yes, that is satisfying. You know, like the feeling of satisfaction. Like it's like escaping, you know, from the world for a moment just to paint. Um, like I kind of like call these my demons or whatever, and I paint them out. You know, like I paint out my demons. Um, but like, yeah, I don't know how it is for you expressing yourself.
I mean, what came to my mind was exercise and just getting out. And anytime I'm overwhelmed or stressed, I'll go on a walk or something. But dude, that was pretty beautiful how you just eloquently put transferring your energy into art.
Yeah, all that stuff is over here, and I'm putting it to the side for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like your mind is like quicksand. If you know, like the more you move, the worse it's gonna get.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say, you just need to become still.
Yeah, can't ruminate on the same thoughts.
So you just need to do whatever makes you feel still and in the moment. You know?
I love that, dude. Well, this has been an awesome little hour 20 minutes here. I appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to touch on?
Um, I mean, I had like, I guess like couple. I had like
Yeah, go off.
I had like a couple things that were like written down. Also, a couple other things.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're having a bad day, that means it's time to get a haircut to make yourself look fresh, or take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, like music. I even like incense. Um, like I even have like sage and shit.
Yeah, bro. I've been doing I've been doing this lately. Palo Santo.
A tea is good too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, like lavender. Anything that's like lavender that smells really good. You get like a lavender spray or something like that'll calm you down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like just sitting outside looking at nature, you know. But like honestly, dude, one of my favorite things that changes my mood, no matter what, is getting a haircut.
Yeah.
Like just going to the barber shop and getting your haircut and just chilling, talking to your barber, and then like, you know, you just feel fresh, like a nice skin fade. Like it feels amazing. Or you know what, dude? Like or like even like just like pop into like TJ Maxx or something, go buy a shirt, wear something brand new. It feels so good to like wear something brand. I'm not saying like shop and like, you
Yeah.
know, your bank account, but like, it does feel good to like, wear
Good.
something brand new. It'll make you feel better.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
the haircut piece was big for me during like my depression. So I would just go forever without a haircut.
oh, really?
Well, I would just be
Yeah.
so. I
It
would,
makes you feel good,
yeah. Yeah.
presentable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, oh, yeah. And then, like, so many people don't know what their purpose is, right? Like, how many people have you met that were like, like, I have no idea who I am? Like,
Yeah.
it is like there are so many people like throughout all ages and stages of life like that like have no idea what their purpose is. Like they just go to work and they just like go home and, watch Netflix and like, I mean, dude, I see this all the time, you know? It's like, you know, my neighbor's like a CPA or whatever. But like, I mean, it's cool that you're a CPA, but like, and like he just watches TV 24/7. Because I see him in his window, just like watching TV 24/7. Like
Yeah.
another guy that like is in the apartment below me that literally never leaves his couch.
Uh,
Like it's so common, it's crazy, bro. Um, so like, this is like what I always tell people to do, and it takes some journaling, is to ask yourself 3 questions in the morning when you wake up. First thing that you gotta do, you ask yourself 3 questions. Okay, what is my purpose? Why is my purpose? Where is my purpose? And then whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Okay. And over a month or 2 months of writing that down, you should find some trail of something that, like you should be able to connect the dots and say, okay, I'm getting somewhere. You should be getting somewhere after you ask yourself those questions, you know?
yeah, it's like whatever's top of mind and you're currently interested in, it'll all add up. Figure it out.
I did that for a while when I was like trying to figure out if I should be a graphic designer, and then I figured it out. Um, yeah.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask you about this actually. NFTs. What are your thoughts on NFTs, dude?
NFTs.
I've been learning a little bit about them, and I'm somewhat in the graphic space, but follow Gary Vaynerchuk and guys like that about the new trends. So non-fungible tokens, basically, it's basically like art just on the internet, sold on blockchain. I don't know. You can probably explain it better than I can.
Yeah. So like, what's going on with like NFTs? There's like multiple types. Like, are you talking about the art world, or are you talking about like sports and stuff like that? Because they have like NFTs for sports.
Yeah, I'm talking about the art world and how you
Yeah.
see yourself in the future of your art maybe being online.
Yeah. So like NFTs are still really really new.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's kind of like when a new technology comes and there's not really like the environment is not really ready for it yet. That's
Mhm.
kind of where it's at right now. But NFTs are basically art pieces that are just moving. They're like motion graphics. So what will happen is an artist, uh, will say, okay, I want to do an NFT. So he will find an animator, like a video animator, to work with on a project. Okay. And the artist will do drawings and renditions and tell the video animator like exactly what he wants, like for example, like I want my like in the background right here where we see like those eyes and those horns and stuff. I
Yeah.
want it all moving around like it's in like a little soup can, like it's like a cup of soup and they're all moving around. Okay. So I'll go to someone that can make me an NFT, and then he will make it and make it move. Now they'll sell them in like certain quantities, so like there'll be like just 30 of them, just 10 of them, or just one of them,
Hmm.
and then they'll put a price for it, and then someone can collect it, and they'll just sell the digital file of the art piece. Now there's nothing really you can do with that. It's just for the sake that you own something that this artist created that was digital. And you can trade it however you want. So in terms of like selling and trading, it is the same exact way as like selling a painting and trading a painting, but it's digital, and you just would, transfer ownership of that file. And it is rare. Like it's rare, it's unique, it's something, that this artist created that you own. But like it's not in the physical world, it's a digital thing. So like if that's your thing, if you like collecting stuff like that, if you're like a really serious collector, you might want to buy one. Like a lot of people are buying like electronic, like digital, like LeBron James cards. There's like digital cards that people are selling to each other and trading to each other. But like yeah, I mean it's cool. I mean and people, they're putting it up on their Instagrams and all over the place. So it's cool.
And doesn't it give more power to the creator? Like, say you created an NFT and then I bought it and then I sold it to our friend who sold it to his friend or whoever. Aren't you, as the artist, getting a little bit of royalties or money on each sale? Doesn't that make it different?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that like let's say I made an NFT and I sold it for $200, then that person can sell it to another person for $250, but the artist gets none of that money that's extra. Like that's the art business of art. That's why people trade art, because they're the ones that make money. The artist usually just makes money on that first initial sale, and then after that it turns into whatever it turns into. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Still trying to figure it out.
Now NFTs, like they're just another way to make money. It's like I just made a clothing line. That's just like another way to make money for me.
Right.
So it's like it's just another way to make money. And like personally, like I would love to make one, but where am I going to find a video animator that wants to make one for me on my budget?
Yeah.
And then also, like, I don't have like a ton of collectors, itching for, like my art yet. So like I'm not at that stage yet to make one, but like, the famous artists, like the top artists, they're all making them, and they're making like amazing NFTs, and they're selling them for like a ton of money. Yeah. But like, I mean, I know like people that own like very prestigious galleries here in Florida, and I've talked to them about NFTs.
Yeah.
So I've talked to like gallery owners, and they're like, I'm not getting in that game. Like there's nothing I can do with it. Like they want something visible that someone could peek in a window and see, to sell out their gallery. It's not really a
maybe, but it could be on a computer screen, like moving. You never really know. I mean,
it's been done, and it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you a little while to make your profit back. Pay for all those monitors and all the installation fees to remove those wires to make it look good in your gallery and all that, and then to have it taken out and to ruin your walls. It's a whole process.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's not. We don't live in a digital world yet, but in the future we will. And it probably will become. It's like the first thing. It's like we're becoming more of a digital world, and that it's just the first thing we're seeing. From artists that's digital.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where that goes in the next couple of years.
Yeah, bro. One day it'll be holograms.
Yeah.
One day it'll be like,
I'll just show up on your couch and we'll do
it. Like Blade Runner.
No, I never saw that.
In Blade Runner, everyone has this device that's in their house. Okay, it's on the ceiling. Okay, and it folds down literally like a light. Like it literally like folds down, and then it projects whatever images you want, like holograms, into the room.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
Could be not too far away.
you know, like so. Like I'm sure that NFTs are gonna
Yeah,
make their way into the future. But yeah, I want to do one. It's just like I don't have anyone that I can collab with.
You could probably, I bet you could find someone and then just like structure a deal with them where you give them half of whatever it sells for or whatever percent you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just have to sell it.
Yeah.
I would have to make a deal with them that like you do it and then you get half or whatever or more if it sells. Give them no money up front because they probably would charge like $600 to $1,000 for it. It's a big investment.
Yeah,
something that's really hard to sell.
that's true.
Yeah. People don't get that though. You know how many people come up to me and they're like, "Yo, dude, like, you gotta do an NFT," and I'm like, yeah. It's cool though. It's really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. I wish I could.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's where technology will head, where that motion graphic stuff will be a little easier because it's a skill. It's just like video editing at a crazy level. After Effects and all that stuff, it's really hard to master.
What I want to learn how to do is just to make toys like this.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to the right guy. I mean, we sell the digital printers, but I think there's access to 3D printers through Mamaki, and
You can make me one? No.
I don't have one, but
Yeah.
the printers that we sell at Grant Graphics, some of them also are starting to do crazy color 3D printers, like over 1 million different colors, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I think they're still pretty expensive. But yeah, man. We touched on a lot of stuff. Even got into graphics and NFTs and everything. So I appreciate you coming on.
That's the blueprint right there.
Just keep moving forward, keep growing, living in the here and now.
Do you see like a similarity, like similar things have been talked about in the past episodes?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, yeah, I mean, family has been a huge one for another guest that struggled with depression, and just kind of having those roots and having that support system. But yeah, I mean, community, family, eating, nutrition, it's all.
I mean, you have to be really unhappy, like really, really not happy with your life to be depressed,
Yeah, but it happens. I mean, it happened to me, it happened to you, it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so glad 2020 is over. I'm excited for 2021 to be over. Fuck. 2021 still been like a little rocky.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are finding struggles too in this whole reemergence into society and life, and how interacting with friends or social events and getting back to normal is going. So I feel like that's something everybody needs to just be gentle on themselves and other people with.
Yeah, be gentle with yourself. Yeah.
But Nice, man. Well, that was this week's episode of the We Not Lie podcast. Where can everybody check out your art?
Right there.
Right there. Benjamin Aviv Art. BenjaminAvivart on Instagram. Cool. And I'm gonna pick up one of your shirts too. You got the whole merch.
Pay with PayPal right now.
What's that?
I think you have to pay with PayPal right now, FYI, because I'm working on the website.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll make that work.
That'd be dope.
For sure, man.
All right, man.
All right, I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for coming.
All right, we'll talk soon.